Hello everyone, welcome to Q Design. I'm Janine, and in today's tutorial I show you this little game, this drawing with your nose game, and with a counter, with different ideas what you can draw, and I really enjoy to creating this tutorial. If you don't need every single step, you can switch between the steps. Really do whatever you like, and now I just show you the mechanic, the logic. So steps, I have to draw a ghost. Okay, yeah, and you see it's counting just again. It stops with a setting, cat. We have a counter right here. And then it stops, and I can't draw with my nose anymore. I'm really excited to create this game with you, and so let's start. Okay, let's start, and we start by creating the whole scene and the scene settings. If you want to skip to the part with the exact nose tip drawing thing, you can skip all the time, but we start with a face tracker and add to the face tracker a plane, and we need 2 of them. This is the whole intro setting. So this is our intro, our random for the random objects, and then our counter, and we create a material for every single plane. So intro, select them all, go to shader type flat, and now I just want to show you what I created for the whole game and the images. I created these images for the intro setting in Canva. Canva has a free version, and I created this in the free version. Every single image is in a square like the plane. Then, because I just use the free version and you can't export the images with a transparency, I used Photoshop to create the transparency. I really like Canva. There are a lot of nice elements in there, so it's pretty helpful, even if you use the free version, but I can tell you the pro version is also pretty awesome. There are more features you can use, and so on and so on. Anyway, so I created these settings. So for the intro, I just add a new texture, and this is my intro texture. The draw with the numbers separated. Sorry, I just add the visibility on. Okay, for the intro. Then the random is a random texture is a animation sequence. So I'll call this one random and add a new texture to it. And I created these right here, 12 different objects for the random. For the counter also, double click on the material. I add a new animation sequence to it. And this is our sequence counter and new texture. For the counter, you see these numbers right here. So 5 is on the first place because we want to count down later. And to make it a little bit easier later for our settings in our patch editor, it's like reversed. So on the position 1 is 5, 2 is 4, 3 is 3. Okay, the settings is fine so far. Go to sketch editor. And we start with the settings of our panels right here. And I want to add a null object to it because I want to make sure that I have a little bit more control about some settings. I just call this one control intro. And now what I want to do is to make sure that the setting of the position of these planes are on the forehead. So I select one of them, and then you see this button right here, action. You just see this button if the face tracker is in the scene, I think. I'm not quite sure, to be honest, but it need a face tracker. Go to forehead, and now you created this whole thing. Select the other two, position. Okay. Again, this up here. Select all materials and make sure that the advanced render option right to depth is disabled. So yeah, it's important for the emitter later. All right, and then that it's pretty helpful. I want it a little bit bigger, so 3 and 3. Yeah, and maybe a little bit more. Yeah, perfect. So this is the setting right here. So setting. Perfect. And now I start with the emitter setting, or the drawing setting for the nose. And you create a particle system and put this particle system also in your face tracker. Now the settings. So we want to make sure that we start with a nose, and we need to add right here nose. I'm not quite sure, to be honest. This is a face tracker face right here, I think, and nose tip right here. So the position of our emitter is on the nose tip. Yeah, perfect. Perfect, it's connected. And now the settings. So point world is perfect. Birth rate is in this case 100, but we will change it later. Speed is 0, and also everything right here 0. Looks awesome. And I have some troubles with these right here, so I want to create a 0.03, and in this case a lifespan of 100, but it doesn't work. I don't know why. If you have the same problem, it doesn't change the settings. Just create 2 patch outputs and add a value patch to it. This one is for the scale, so 0.003 scale, better, and another value, it's just number, so make sure, and this is 100. Perfect. The settings right here, fine. Shape is a sphere, and material, create a new material. This is I'll call this one draw, and also draw. Okay, from standard to flat. If you like a color, looks perfect so far. And now we create just make it a little bit. So these are the whole setting, scene setting, scene setting. Now we want to create the game logic. So when I start with, in this case, with the screen tab or even with recording, for example, but I just want to start with a screen tab, visibility off, so you can see me. Screen tab, so screen tab. And we create a switch with a pulse. Just this two on. And now I just want to start with a drawing when I tap by a delay of 1 duration or 2 duration. So create a delay so we don't start immediately. And now add another switch. Go to turn on. And we turn in if then on. If the switch is on, then create a birth rate of 100. If not, 0. So go to simulate touch. I clicked. Hello. Ah, of course. Visibility on. Restart again. Okay, click. And it starts. Perfect. Now we want to make sure that this animation stops by a random object. Just go to the random sequence of your different objects you can draw and make sure you go to randomize. Want to create another switch. Interesting stuff. So create a switch and a knot, because we want to make sure that we don't do something. So we add a loop animation. In this loop animation, the duration is fine, and we create a transition of our frame, so frame transition. Make sure that the frame rate is exactly like the frames you or the PNGs you have in your animation sequence. In this case, we have 12 frames, so 12 PNGs, and then go to current frame. Add this an output patch and connect it to this whole thingy right here. Just in case, restart, click, and it stops. Again, right here, and it stops. So not exactly in the first second you click, but right there. Now we create the animation for our counter. So go to a switch, and of course we switch it on and use an animation, just an animation, and also a frame transition. In this case, we have, just go to counter scene, 6 frames, 6, and add the duration to it. Also make sure that the duration is also 6, so per frame a second in this case. Click again for 3, 2, 1, and end. So far so good. Now the last step. We create a rectangle. Call this one game. Copy this one and call this one outro. Okay. Select both of them. And we need, I just want to create one material. We have two with the same texture. Canva. Okay, and flat. And we add this to our scene. And I created in Canva this one right here. And then add opacity to it. So when I start, you see this one, and then this. Okay. New material, new texture, this one, and voila. And also want to make sure that we see this first. Just select both of them, visibility. Outro, intro. We want to put the visibility on when I start with the after the delay of 1, and I just connect it with this one right here. And then create a new delay, and this delay is by duration of 5, so 5 seconds. And another switch and flip on. So when I start, this is the first one. It's a head, and yeah, this is the end result. But you see, I can draw with the nose. And after the duration of 5, make sure I switch the drawing off. So just use this one right here. Maybe a little bit confusing. Sorry for that. Put this one down below. Add this one right here. Maybe like this. Okay. And try again. So I draw a shoe. And it stops. Aww. And that's it. Perfect shoe. Yeah. And that's the whole game. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. It's a little longer than the other tutorials before. But if you like creating more games, please watch this whole list right here. And of course, if you have new ideas, comments down below. And yeah, like, subscribe. Everything will help to boost my channel. Enjoy the process. Bye bye.